Weird. I thought I was going to review another Godzilla movie. Oh well, I guess I'm going to review the Indiana Jones movies and begin the Indiana Jones-A-Thon. What's up? What's up, guys? Monster Master Godzilla here, and I'm here to begin the Indiana Jones-A-Thon. And we're beginning with Raiders of the Lost Ark. Now, I have the complete box set that comes with all 4 adventures, and it's what represents the movie. And Cole, if you're watching this, I know I got your comment saying you've never seen any of the Indiana Jones movies, so, well, fear not, friend, because you're in here for a treat. It's okay. Where do I begin with this glorious film? The Raiders of the Lost Ark was done by none other than Steven Spielberg and George Lucas. And George Lucas, who you remember the name as the brainchild of Star Wars, and he created this franchise as well. And now, here Indiana Jones was played by none other than Harrison Ford, who you remembered as Han Solo. Now, this is one of the best movies he's ever done, aside from Star Wars. And what the plot is that there was this thing called the Ark, and Indy was challenged by another. And Indiana Jones, which is the main character himself, nicknamed Indy, has been challenged by another archaeologist, which is a rival named Belloc. And also, the Raiders of the Lost Ark is set in the year 1936 during World War II. And it began when he was in the Amazon, and he was trying to find this idol that the natives had worshipped. And right when he found the idol, which is one of the big famous scenes, there was this famous scene where Indy gets chased down by a rolling boulder, which that is one of the most famous and iconic scenes in the Indiana Jones franchise. And in this first one, Alfred Molina was in this one, and he gets killed off very quickly. Yes, that Alfred Molina, which many people, such as myself, knew him as Doc Ock in the Spider-Man movies. So Indiana Jones is himself, which is this character right here. He is not just an archaeologist. He is also a professor at a school. And one thing is that he ends up going to Cairo. And the Cairo is where you find the Ark. And so the Nazis were going after the Ark. And of course, because this is Indiana Jones, they're going to be villains. And the villains are often foiling Indy's plans during his adventures, which, especially when they're trying to get the treasures before him. And now they have a lot of huge. This is one of the best examples of adventures. And during this time, the action scenes are amazing. The effects are awesome for their time being. And this franchise is a timeless masterpiece. And it's something I definitely recommend for everyone. And it's set, and as the Indiana, and there were a lot of big scenes in the film. Like, if you're used to knowing Lara Croft, Indiana Jones always gets punched in the face. Because that's one thing that's different, is that's the running gag in the franchise, is that Indiana Jones always gets punched in the face. And although that Indiana Jones is like a very awesome adventurer and archaeologist, he had one thing that he's afraid of, and it's snakes. Especially one scene where he says, "Why did it have to be snakes?" And although it was rated PG-13, yes, this is one of the earlier films this is one of the earlier films in the 80s that's rated PG-13. Yeah, a lot of movies back in the 80s were PG rated despite having intense scenes. So yeah, they actually made it PG-13. Which I thought definitely makes sense for the time, because major scenes where Alfred Molina gets impaled by the spikes, the scene where the tall captain that Indiana Jones gets into a fight with gets shredded by the propellers of a plane and has blood splattered on it. Yeah, that's so hardcore. They didn't show the man getting killed by the propellers, but they just show the blood, which implies it. And yes, things were different back then in the 80s. Yeah, back then PG the word has a meaning, and it's parental guidance suggested. And so then when Indy ends up going after the bad guys and found the Ark. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention the villains. Not only Belloc was the main villain. There's also another villain in the first one. And his name Toad. He's one of the Nazis. One of the lead members of the Nazis. And so as Indy ends up, as they were going after the Ark, they were all going after the Ark. And Indy ends up battling it. So you find out that the lost Ark is very deadly when you open it. So, as at the very end, which brace yourselves, even for a PG-13 rated film, it got very intense when the Nazis had opened the Ark. When they opened the Ark, the boy caused a lot of supernatural things that caused them when they looked into the light. All the Nazis have died, got killed by it, and even one of the Nazis started being all shriveled up. Belloc's head exploded, and Tote ends up melting, which all melted down where it all ends up melting and got reduced to a skeleton. And so the film ends where Indy finally got it into civilization. And then at the end, the Ark ends up getting lost again. It was put inside of a box, inside of a warehouse, and got stored away, so it won't be found ever again. And that's pretty much the end of Adventure 1. So, would I recommend Raiders of the Lost Ark? Absolutely. I mean, this is definitely a movie you should watch, and if you're new to films set in the adventures. And it's definitely something you should show your friends if they've never seen them. And you'll definitely enjoy these movies. They're fun, they're adventuring, and full of excitement. And if you like archaeology and adventures and in general, this is definitely one for you to try out. This is almost exactly like what we got from National Treasure. I mean, think about it. If it wasn't for this movie, we wouldn't have Uncharted. We wouldn't have Lara Croft Tomb Raider or National Treasure. This is basically one of those movies that started those adventures, those Indiana Jones style adventures. Indiana Jones is the grandfather of archaeology adventures. So this is definitely one you should try out for should check, give it a look. And that's all I have to say, folks. And stay tuned for more of the Indiana Jones-A-Thon. Next up, we'll be reviewing Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And that's all I have for tonight, folks. And I'll see you then. Goodbye.